Hello, everyone, and welcome back into tonight's broadcast of Round 2 of the Ride365.com Nationals, powered by VersusPC.com. From Glen Helen, I am Kellen Brauer, and I am joined by the one and only Chris Riesenberg in booth for the 450 motos coming up here in just a moment. How are you doing tonight, Chris?
I'm doing wonderful, ready to see these guys tear up the hills of Glen Helen.
Oh, yeah. All right, we've got the 450 consolation race on the track right now, and there are 13 riders vying over 4 spots to make it into the main motos tonight. And so we'll see these guys rip around for about 4 laps, and then we will get the motos started. So anybody watching back on the YouTube playback, if you want to skip ahead to the motos, just 10 minutes or so. But if not, watch some 450 Conti action going down right now. Neil Wells putting it down out front for the Aspect ride. It's been a long while.
And in second, it's Brina!
It's Brina! Hopefully she doesn't go over the berm.
Sabrina Ritzler running to the 2 ride, making her comeback to RF Pro Racing on the 773. Mike Strehler runs in 3rd. Jack Fowler and Josh Mertens battling it out for the last transfer. Mertens goes down. Fowler's going to go by along with the 105 of Austin Bear. Tanner Rogers giving chase. Bad news for a couple of host Race Factory president, Mr. Michael Wheeler, was up in the 4th spot earlier, and our early leader, race host Logan Heagney, is all the way back in last now. Bad news for Heags.
How about it, though, for Brina? Nice to see her back racing. Of course, anybody that may not remember, way back in 2012, she was the only female ever in MX Simulator history to win a professional racing event in Race Factory Gaming competition when she won the 2012 Indianapolis Supercross in the 450 class, beating the likes of Tyson Fresquez, Austin Jones, and all the heavy hitters back then. So good to see her return to racing. Haven't seen her in, what has it been now, 3-4 years at least?
Yeah, absolutely. She came out for the Block Pound event and posted up this week that she just liked the track so much that she had to come back racing. Not a fan of nationals usually, but nice to see her out here and looking to make her way into the motos if she can keep her on 2 wheels and keep it going fast. Mike Strehler and Austin Bear have the other 2 transfers behind her, and Tanner Rogers right now on the outside looking in. Rogers runs the 29, one of the best hot lappers in the game. Not necessarily one to put it together for the racing, and we'll see what he can do here if he can make some headway and get up to Austin Bear, who has that last transfer.
Mr. Rogers on that Versus PC FemMX ride doesn't even run the skins. He's killing me.
He probably didn't get on long enough to get them before the race. Knowing him, he's definitely not one that takes this stuff all too seriously, as you can tell. Ritzler putting a charge on him, trying to go after Neil Wells to take home the win.
Yeah, I was going to say at the beginning of this race, it's been a little while since we've seen Neil Wells in any real capacity put together an effort to race. So it's good to see him out here right now. Always has some really awesome setups and does some really good screenshots, but kind of rare that we see him out here racing. Actually looking pretty good, though. You're right, Brina is keeping him honest. Closing in.
Last transfer slowly starting to tighten up a little bit as Bear losing a little bit of time to Rogers. Man, I feel like we saw Josh Williams up in the top 10 some points last week, and he's all the way back in 6th right now.
You're absolutely right about that. That is interesting for
Rogers is down, so Williams actually might go all the way up to 5th here by the time that he gets going.
I don't think Williams expected himself to not be racing in the Pro Motos tonight. He's going to try to turn that around. Behind him,
Nothing is over.
Matt Model. Behind that, Logan Heagney, Michael Garacci. Josh Mertens, another OG out there. These guys are on the 2018 Zook. Just taking a look at. Mertens is designing that one in Gamer, so kind of cool to see it in game right now. Ooh, Mertens almost cleans out Garacci. All right, tightening up a little bit at the front, not for the lead, but for the battle for third here, as Strehler has Austin Bear right behind him. I just took a quick glance at chat. Roy Mitchell, I mean, I can't do anything. You could maybe ask Chris, but he timed out during UID grab.
I was speaking to Brady and told him Brady's going to talk to Wheels for him. So
okay.
Obviously not going to bother Wheels right now as he is on the track racing. And, well, he was in the 6th spot, but he's laying in the dirt at the moment. So.
Oh, Austin Bear is down, and here comes Josh Williams. That might be the break he needed.
Williams desperately wanting to get into the motos after, like I said, I can look. Actually, Josh Williams, after Hangtown, is running 17th in the standings.
Well, 17th or 25th, doesn't really matter where you are in points. If you make it in the opening round, you obviously want to be in the second one as Bear and Williams go cartwheeling together. Bear looks like he's going to get a first. Williams just coming through the banner. Here comes Bear down the inside. Inside line. And holds it. Oh, and Austin Bear, Boner Air McGee lands off the track a little bit.
Oh, Williams
is down. Bear gets into him. White flag is in the air next time by. And meanwhile, Matt Model squeaks through and takes that final transfer spot for now. Those guys are farting around with each other, and Model just says, thank you very much. I'll kindly go through here. Oh, and Model with a slide out. Bear is going to get back by. Nobody wants this final transfer spot out of this consolation race for these 450 guys right now. This is a little insane to watch. Neil Wells still comfortably leading here on the 524 Aspect ride. Good to see. Behind him, Strelo, who was in the motos last week, and if I remember right, did quite well. Obviously does not want to not make it out of the consolation race. Nobody does not want to not make it out of the consi. We've lost Austin Bear again. Matt Model in the spot, but Josh Williams sends it into the sand. Takes over that spot momentarily.
It's a battle to see whose day will continue. Matt Model maybe just lost his opportunity right there.
Yeah, Model looks like he was going to try to check up in that corner and go down the inside of Josh Williams there, but it did not work.
Neil Wells, Mike Strelo pretty far out front. I believe Ritzler's probably safe as well, as she is 17 seconds back to that 4th spot, which is the final spot that Josh Williams has. But really, it looks like it's going to come down to Matt Model, Josh Williams to settle this thing. Wheeler and Bear there to capitalize if anything crazy does happen.
Yeah, Williams looks like he probably is going to be fine here as long as he can cruise this one in. He's got some time over Model.
User was moved to your channel.
We'll see as we are joined by Moto Chasen's own Chase Dunivant in the booth here tonight. Good to see Dunivant joining us. How are you tonight, Chase?
Doing good. Just got done with my motos and ready to do some commentating.
Right on. Yeah, you just, I believe, finished 16th in that second 250 moto, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, sir. It's first points of the season for me. Not really had the hottest time so far this season, but we're starting somewhere.
Yeah, right on. Well, this 450 Consi is closing up as Neil Wells takes the win. Mike Strelo second. Sabrina Ritzler looks like she's going to get third, no problem.
And Hamilton has a nice gap in the 4th spot as long as he keeps it on 2. As he got a little sideways there, made me nervous as I was about to say he was in. But the ever good rider will find himself into the motos. Mr. Dunivant is the voice of amateur motocross this summer. The 2017 RF Amateur Motocross Championships presented by Moto Chasen. And everyone's favorite redneck. He brought some hype in the amateur stream, so we're going to bring him in here. I will kind of quiet down a little bit and let the crazy redneck go after it with Kellen to call this 450 action.
Right on. Well, we are going to have some fun here, Chase. I can tell you that much. This 450 race is going to be action-packed coming up here in just a moment. And we talked a little bit about it in our 250 broadcast, but these 450 guys laid down some insane laps this week. Top time in the 212s. I mean, is there anything that these guys can't do anymore in Sim?
They're the lap times for the 450 class this week were absolutely crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it. Colton Mitchell, who just won the overall of the 250 class, actually did have a lap on a 450 and did sign up, but he did withdraw it, and he had a 2:11, and he had beat the fastest time.
Oh my. Yeah, I mean, obviously we understand that 450 power would be huge when it comes to these uphills at Glen Helen, but I guess I did not expect to see it such a drastic difference. We saw some of the top times in these 250 races in the 220s. I don't believe we ever saw someone dip into the 219s, but I'm assuming these guys are going to be able to click off maybe 217s with relative ease. I mean, that's a big gap to kind of see in this 450 class, and we'll see how that works out here in just a moment. But I mean, can you kind of take us through your thoughts and opinions coming into this 450 moto? Obviously, Mullins looks like he is going to be the favorite once again here at Glen Helen, but I mean, does Tyson or anybody else have something for him here tonight?
I honestly think Shipley is going to do something tonight. He did do well last week in the second moto at Hangtown, but here I saw him riding earlier today, and he was really, he was doing really well, consistent lap times, and was still putting 2:15s down, even with mess ups and such like that. So I think he can do something tonight.
It's a good point. Shipley did look very good in the opening round last week at Hangtown. Unfortunately, did fall late, or else he was in a position actually to claim the overall victory. That, of course, going to defending champion Jesse Mullins. Well, we will have this 450 moto coming up here in just a moment. We'll get a restart after race director of the evening, Logan Heagney, gets things all sorted out. The consolation race is now in the books and officially confirmed. Neil Wells, Mike Strelo, Sabrina Ritzler, and Josh Williams are going through. Unfortunately, Matt Model will be the first one to fall just short, and I believe Chris
Moto
might
one
be able
lineup
to...
check
All
is
right.
coming up right now, and that'll give us an opportunity, of course, once again to talk about the versuspc.com 1-2 watch. And for this one, I was actually going to pick Fjellberg, qualified 7th, but he did miss UID grab as he just joined the server, so unfortunately he won't be our versuspc.com 1-2 watch. So we're going to focus on our 5th fastest qualifier after a great performance last week, the 192 of Adam Holm. He's running 7th in points after round number 1, finished up with some great finishes last week, battled up in the top 5 quite a bit, and showing some good qualifying time. So Adam Holm will be our versuspc.com 1-2 watch here in Moto number 1 at Glen Helen.
Right on, the one and only chemistry major coming through and giving us everything that he can give here in Moto 1. We'll see what happens with that versus PC 1-2 watch. We will get a rundown here in just a moment as soon as I load in. It is a warm-up lap, correct?
Yes, there is a warm-up lap. It actually, the scripts actually have warm-up laps in now, so Wheels got on and did some work.
Right on. Okay, just want to make sure. Always loading into these motos is a bit of a tricky situation. Taking a look at the beautiful overhead of the Glen Helen National Track. Are these guys already going around?
They are cruising around for their warm-up lap.
I did time out then. Give me just a moment.
And just one moment. I'm actually going to jump in here real quick.
User left your channel.
All right, well, taking a look at the lineup here tonight in the 450 class from Glen Helen. As Chase Dunivant mentioned, we do have Jeremy Shipley on hand tonight, and he looked great in qualifying, as Moto Chase's Chase Dunivant alluded to. Connor Holiak looked great last week. Peter Like, his teammate, also here. Matthias Janis, Tyson Fresquez, a 4-time Supercross champion. Gavin Schuh, Matt Agate, Luke Heberlein, Chase Blakely, Cameron Lee, Mike Strelo, Jacob Holgerson. We've got Reed Young, Alex Heckman, Brandon Holdsworth, James Armstrong. These guys going down at the top of the hill ruined it. Benny Landry, Race Carlin, Hunter Deischer, Jesse Mullins, Serena Ritzler, Jack Haley, Adam Holm, you're one to watch. Spencer Turley making his return to the series tonight. Dylan Copeland, Jack Haley. I saw Devin Davis in there. August Sanders, Trevor Doiron, Andrew Wood, Tyler Fry, Eduardo Simos, Brady Stanley, Justin Harper, Jordan Vanderlee, Jeremy Siebel, Josh Hamilton, Neil Wells, Josh Williams. That is the 40 riders that will go 30 minutes plus 2 laps, back-to-back motos. Coming up from Glen Helen. Are you ready, Chase?
I'm ready.
He's ready, folks.
It's
time to get some action underway here.
For some bar banging.
Heck yeah, that 250 action was awesome earlier tonight, and I think it's only going to get better in this 450 race. We're about to drop the gate here at Glen Helen, the first moto of 2. See if Jesse Mullins is still as quick as he was last week at Hangtown, or will Chase Dunivant's pick Jeremy Shipley shine through, or will the 4-time Supercross champion Tyson Fresquez have a night to remember at Glen Helen? Or will somebody else sneak up and make something a little bit more interesting as well? It could be anybody's ball game here. Start seemed to be very crucial in that 250 race earlier on tonight, so we'll see if that comes into play. With these guys maybe getting bad starts charging through the field, see how bad it is. But obviously, Chase, you know this a little bit better than anybody as you had just raced the track. What was it like to race on this track? Was passing available? Were there multiple lines, or was it really one-lined?
There was multiple lines compared to usual, and it was really well for racing. Since this year we went a little bit of a different way with not being overly rough, it makes the racing a lot better. The tracks are wider, and so yeah, it was a lot better for racing tonight. All
right, well that is the analysis of the track from the man who just raced it himself, Chase Dunivant. Gonna give us some analysis here as we go on in the program. And we're going to see exactly what happens here tonight at Glen Helen. Hope you guys are ready, strapped in, got some good snacks, maybe to watch us stream this business. And 2 30-minute plus 2-lap motos coming up. We'll be live here for the next about hour and a half. So we bring you action from the Ride365.com Nationals, powered by Versus PC from Glen Helen. Just waiting for the call from race director Logan Heagney to get us underway here tonight. Seeing, I think maybe we are trying to figure out, Dennis did come in after UID grab. Obviously, he's trying to get in, and then Roy Mitchell was having some issues as well. Maybe trying to squeak those guys into a 41st gate, as both of them would have, of course, qualified within the Fast 40. Fjellberg definitely so, but Roy Mitchell, 7th in the series last year, and had a pretty decent opening round last week as well, so Mitchell obviously does not want to miss out on the action tonight. Gonna make sure those guys are good to go. Just watching Shipley ride around the track here and see what lines he has got working. He is
do this.
Ooh. Yeah, that line is going to be interesting to watch to see if anybody really has the nards to bust that one out. They kind of wheelie into that little pocket, get over that first single, and then triple onto the finish line tabletop. Huge line. It doesn't necessarily look that huge because you stay so low to the ground, but I mean, that's some good distance to travel at a really high speed, and it's not easy. Have you been able to hit it at all? Obviously not on a 250. Not too possible, but maybe on a 450. Did you give it a go at all this week?
No, I did not give it a go on a 450 at all. But I do know the guys that were like 15th and back in qualifying on the 450s were even having a really hard time getting onto that.
Yeah, I can imagine so. That looks like it's really tough to get right. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the, and you may remember this as well, last year at Glen Helen there was a triple back onto the start straight that only a handful of guys in the 450 class were able to bang out every lap. If you got the low line on it right leading into it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that.
Yes, it makes a big factor in lap times, that's for sure.
All right, well, it looks like we have got another warm-up lap here to just see if everything is all good. So we'll see if these guys are, in fact, all good. Wait to get things going here in just a moment. And we've got another restart, so waiting to see what exactly is happening. We are joined again by Chris Riesenberg, and I think we are set to go for the motos, are we not, Chris?
We are, yes. There was an issue with the script that actually made our two-stroke warrior have to ride a 125 last week in a moto, which he was super cool about, but it actually was happening again, and I wanted him to be able to ride the 252 stroke that he wanted. So we were fixing an issue with the script, and we are good to go
here
racing.
We go. It is 450 action from Glen Helen as the gate is down. Taking a look at Shipley on the start, and he got a decent one, but he's going to get pinched. I think Holm on the inside actually has a good jump. 33 of Armstrong has a great start, but the whole shot goes to Kevin Verzaka on the BPC Husqvarna team, just ahead of Armstrong. And he's going to lead him down.
Armstrong's down.
Oh, Armstrong.
Home into the 2 ride. The first is PC.com, one to watch, but he's on the outside. He's going to be fine as there's a massive pile up behind him. Here comes Fresquez and Fry. Cameron Lee in the mix as well.
All right, so Verzaka leads on the downhill, and he's got a good lead to work with. As Holm, your versus PC one to watch, is in second, and it stacks up behind that. Cameron Lee already a little bit under attack here from Tyler Fry, but Fry obviously not accustomed to being in this position too often, drifting back into his teammates' clutches here. Tyson Fresquez.
Verzaka went down.
Oh no, leader down. Holm to the front.
Dang, the one to watch might be the opposite of the commentator's curse right now. Everyone's going to want that thing. Adam Holm, Team Architect, the 192. And the rookie Cameron Lee giving him chase. Tyler Fry, another guy just moving up out of the amateurs recently. Fresquez down.
Fresquez down. Yeah, case the triple. That was really weird to see him case the triple there. Love seeing all these guys getting steezy on the uphill triple, but Fresquez just getting going. That is not what he wanted after a good start here in the first moto.
Holiak with a good start coming in from last week in P6 right now.
Yeah, Holiak did have a very strong week, and he is chasing the 22 machine of Brady Stanley here as they cross the line on the opening lap right behind the 40 of August Sanders. Fry, Lee, and Holm leading this thing. How about Adam Holm, right? Versus PC, one to watch this week, and kind of coming out of nowhere. We talked a little bit about it at Hangtown, had a fantastic Supercross season, but obviously, 3-digit hero, he did not have a great season last year, and now he is just busting at the seams, doing a fantastic job and leading this thing here at Glen Helen early on.
A 3-digit is legit right now. The podium right now made up of 3-digit riders, Holm, Lee, and Fry. Devin Davis goes up to 4th, Heckman 5th, Williams out of the LCQ, last transfer goes to 6th. Then we finally see a title contender, Jeremy Shipley comes in 2nd in points. Jack Haley, we've lost a lot of riders, one of them August Sanders, and
our points leader is back in 17th.
All right, Mullins, that's our first check into Mullins, 17th. We'll see how he charges through the field. And Fresquez is actually ahead of Mullins, so that is a good sign for him. That's what he wants to see after a somewhat frustrating week for the 21 machine last week. All these guys still packed very tightly together. Going up.
Oh, Cameron Lee is down. So Tyler Fry goes to the 2 spot. Lee's going to get back going, I believe, in 5th, as Heckman and Davis also go around.
Yeah, so Josh Williams now behind Lee with Shipley starting to charge forward a little bit.
Holiak putting a lot of pressure on Jack Haley to try to take that 7 spot, or 8 spot, sorry.
Man, if you had Adam Holm, Tyler Fry, and Devin Davis in your top 3, I'd like to meet you because you're going to win the lottery ticket this week. For guessing that top 3, I don't think anybody would have had that one. But how about it? These guys running up front. And Heckman putting in a good ride.
Holm doing really well with that 7-second gap already, too.
Yeah, and
not even a surprise with the top 3, but honestly, your top 6, I think, would all be surprises.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure Heckman is really stoked to be in the position he's in right now, and he's under attack from Cameron Lee, who not but 2 months ago was still in the amateur class, and he finds himself here battling for a top 5 position in a 450 moto. Look at that pass.
That was a sick move.
Oh, Fry's off the track.
Down.
Yeah. So he's going to lose some spots, go backwards, end up right around where his teammate was back there, Tyson Fresquez. Take a look back and see that now. Yep, Fry ends up right behind Fresquez.
Armstrong right with them as well. It's a 3-rider team Volcom train into the sand.
Ooh,
Oh,
and
Armstrong down.
yeah. And there is Mullins. Just saw Mullins get around Armstrong as well. He's trying to go with Fresquez as Holiak blew the berm after the sand.
Holiak's actually struggling to get back going. Went down again. Didn't fall off the bike, but he's all the way outside the top 15 now, I think.
Wow, that's how quickly it changes. I mean, these guys all still locked together.
Davis to the lead.
Oh, man, Devin Davis is up front. Holm giving chase. Let's see what happens here. Davis admittedly had a very good week last week, and he really did. He charged from way back to finish 9th in the opening moto, and if I'm not mistaken, was inside of the top 5 in the second one, so he had a fantastic opening round by his standards, but he's leading here at Glen Helen.
Holm got a better run down the hill. Hometown race for Devin Davis, getting after it at Glen Helen.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's spun some laps here.
No kidding. How about this top 3, though? Like you said, Devin Davis leads the way, Adam Holm in second, and Cameron Lee. Oh, Davis with a slide out saves it.
Goes across the track, then goes back around Cameron Lee.
Looks
Oh,
like...
I think. Oh.
No, go ahead.
Nah, I thought Cameron was gonna put it in on Devin there, but he didn't.
Yeah. Chose the inside line, but gave him plenty of room, so these guys disputing second now. In what has become known as the Honda Nationals, we've got a trio of YZs up front. I'm liking it. Behind that, Heckman still runs a comfortable, well, not too comfortable 4th as Haley, Shipley, Fresquez, and Mullins all breathing down his neck. 5-rider battle for the 4th spot.
Just a little bit of pressure right now on the 55.
Just a little bit. It looked comfortable when I switched back to him, but suddenly there's
5 guys were just in the air on the finish at the same time.
And you would be all right if I think it was just Haley, but you have Shipley, Fresquez, and Mullins breathing down your neck. Oh, man, this is some tight action. Look at all 5 of these guys in a train here. But Heckman's holding tight here. Sends it into the sand, looking comfortable. Haley trying down the inside and gets the move. Heckman goes off the track or over the berm there and loses all 4 spots in about 0.3 seconds maybe there.
Pretty much. Now they're going to all go continue to do battle after Haley.
Devin Davis back into the lead again.
And this battle's so good, I don't want to switch away from it as Shipley goes after Haley. But yeah, Devin Davis is up front. And Holmes still giving him chase up Mount St. Helens.
Well, I think Shipley has a run.
Here we go, looking at Haley, and he gets him. Fresquez files in right behind that now. Mullins still looking for a way around everybody. Trying to work his way forward as well.
So far, Mullins and Holm, the only 2 that have dropped into the 219s out of this front group.
Look at that line from Mullins. Tucks to the inside of Fresquez and gets the pass done. I haven't seen anybody take that middle rut like all night long.
We talked about it a lot last week. Mullins is able to move around the track and use different lines, and that's where he's been able to excel moving through the pack. Did it last year a lot, was doing it at Hangtown. It looks like he's going to try to do that again here at Glen Helen. Going to inside again. Makes the move around Jack Haley, but he's going to stay on the track.
Crosses over, barely stays on the track.
Haley's
Haley
got
side
the
by
run.
side. Oh, Haley! Oh my, dirty! And he takes the spot. Mullins is somehow still on the bike. JLV, please give me those hacks. So Heckman funnels in behind, and Holiak is having a bad whip right there. Somehow saves it.
I think Mullins just has the lucky charms. As Chase is beating up his keyboard, I think?
Trying to.
Oh, Oppo whip from Fresquez. I don't know if you caught that on the stream, but he threw a huge Oppo over the finish.
I did not, but this battle for the lead is still raging. We are not giving enough credit to it. Devin Davis versus Adam Holm up front. Love to be able to peek into in-game chat right now to see what is happening.
And Cameron Lee is staying right with those guys and just lurking, hoping for a mistake potentially. And honestly, game chat, very quiet right now. I think everyone's just watching in amazement at the three guys dicing at the lead. Jeremy Shipley trying to reel them in from the 4 spot.
And he's going to bring
he's
going to bring Fresquez and Mullins with him.
Holm and Davis, different lines, but not able to make the move just yet. Davis holding up strong under pressure, probably has a smile from ear to ear to be leading this thing.
I mean, look at how close all these guys are. We got Lee and
Holmes
Shipley.
up the inside.
Oh, man, these guys are so close. Davis is holding real strong, but Holm looks like he's got better runs down these downhills. Davis, a little mistake. Oh, man, Devin Davis is going to be sweating this one. Look at all these guys queuing up behind him.
Yeah, talk a little bit about, though, when you're the guy in second, you can kind of mark the leader's braking points down those hills, whereas in the lead, you're just trying not to mess up, right?
Exactly. I think that Devin Davis is kind of suffering a little bit, being in the lead as Fresquez goes down. We're going to stick on this lead battle, though, as Holm makes a small mistake, and here comes Cameron Lee on the 150 machine. He is trying to find a way through. He scrubs down to the right-hand side of the track, left side of your screen. Not going to make the pass, though, as Shipley is all over his back door as well. Look at this, 3 riders taking off together. And, oh, look at Cameron Lee. Oh, going down.
Holm had to back out of the triple, caught his helmet, and Shipley goes by both. I was just going to comment that was a very veteran move as Haley's going inside hard on Adam Holm. And here comes Mullins on Haley.
Cannot make a mistake with these guys surrounding you here. So Holm, his mistake ended up costing Cameron Lee there, unfortunately. Shipley is going to set sail now after Devin Davis, who has to just be sweating bullets right now.
I'm sure he's a little bit nervous, but I feel like Davis is just so excited to be in this position that the excitement might outweigh the nerves a little bit.
That's a good point. Although, I wonder if anybody's actually talking to him tonight and letting him know how many riders are still right behind him, because if I'm in that position, I would be stoked to be leading, no doubt, but knowing the fact that one crash could put me back to like 8th, oh, that ramps up the pressure real quick.
And Mullins just made the move on Haley into the 3 spot as well. Adam Holm back going in 5th, with Holiak now peeking up into this battle in the 6th spot. And we're almost halfway through this thing already. We're past the 12-minute mark.
This thing is flying by, no doubt.
It's not just leading an opening lap for Devin Davis, but this is leading this thing, like I said, almost to the halfway point, and he might just hold on to this thing to the halfway point. And once that happens, does that give him the confidence to keep going?
It might.
It's close to the wall there. Shipley is laying down a little bit faster lap times. Davis 2:20.9 his last time around. Shipley at 2:19.4. Remember, qualifying times went all the way down to the 2:12s. Davis with a mistake.
Here comes Shipley. He's going to get it easy around the outside here, although he almost jumps off the track. So let's see what Devin Davis has here. Does going back to second give him a little bit more of kind of a loose feel? Open up his turns a little bit? Get this track dialed a little bit? I don't know, though. Shipley looks good.
It's Davis's turn to be able to mark the braking points and stuff that we were talking about earlier. Davis throws it sideways over the scrub jump, telling me that he is enjoying it. He is loose.
Peered back in the pack real fast not that long ago and saw that Fresquez just narrowly avoided a crashing Cameron Lee. Here comes Devin Davis. He's going to jump back into the lead off the track, but he gets the lead back anyway. So Davis back to the front. Shipley tucks in back in second. Mullins just went down and lost a chunk of spots. There goes, that is Holm and Haley with Holiak going
Mullins,
through.
And then Fresquez.
Yeah, so Fresquez, fortunate enough not to get together with Cameron Lee, is able to keep somewhat close to this battle still. Good gravy, this battle is gnarly. Holm almost getting into the back of Haley. Fresquez, I can see him just off the back there, starting to close back in on Mullins again. The pace at the front of the field this year is insane. Oh, Holm a mistake.
Oh, Mullins almost got in the back of him.
Yeah, very close.
Don't even know what to watch as a battle for the lead. There's an 18,000 rider battle for third. It's just unbelievable action here at Glen Helen.
Devin Davis doing his best to hold off the advances here from Jeremy Shipley. And if he can keep doing that, that's going to kind of, I think, back this
Shipley
battle
has a run
into the guys behind them. Shipley taking a very interesting
had a
line
run
there.
Into a mistake. And Haley is not far off of Shipley, about 3 seconds. Davis makes a mistake, goes to the outside. Shipley to the lead.
Oh, Davis still has a bit of a drive, though. But yeah, Shipley getting the power down, takes over the race lead once again. But these guys kind of messing with each other a little bit, losing time has allowed this battle of Jack Haley and Holiak and Jesse Mullins to get into the mix here.
Holm made a mistake, dropped back to the 7 spot, but he's still right at the tail end of that group. And lurking behind them, we haven't talked about him at all, but it's the General, Race Carlin, the German warrior on the VersusPCFanMMX.com machine.
Yeah, Carlin putting in a good ride. Meanwhile, Holiak going around the outside of Jack Haley. Can't get it done. Fresquez is right onto the back of Mullins already. Can't tell if this is a product of just the pace slowing at the front a little bit or Fresquez is actually flying. But he got there fairly
flying.
quick.
He has a 2:17.7 fast lap, and I haven't seen anything faster than a 19 from anyone else. Holiak side by side with Haley gets the move.
All right, Holiak makes the pass. Will Haley have a response? It looks like he might. He almost stuck it back down the inside. They're going to set sail after Devin Davis right in front of them now. And still leading at the front is Shipley, so Chase Dunivant got the hammer on the nail perfectly here. Shipley leading at the halfway point at Glen Helen from Davis. And Holiak and Haley with Mullins side by side as Fresquez is trying to get down the inside, almost into the back of Mullins. So they're trying to keep that momentum going. Mullins ripped around the corner, has Haley all gobbled up in front of him here.
Well, the nice thing about it, we don't even need to leave the battle because it's all the way back to, well, 8th at least, to do a top 10 rundown brought to you by Moto Option, MotoOption.com. We'll just keep watching the battle. I will give a quick shout out to Alex Heckman and August Sanders, who are right now rounding out your top 10. Heckman on the Vital MX Honda doing well, not that far out of this battle, and August Sanders on the Adept machine.
Shipley,
Everyone
Davis,
else right
Holiak,
here.
Haley. Mullins is trying to put a wheel in on Haley, just can't quite get it done. He's going to use this outside line we saw work earlier in the 250 racing. Cuts back underneath, sends it down the hill. Does he have the pass made? Yes, he does. Does he get the corner
Now can
clean?
he slow down?
Yes, he does.
Just ripped that inside to pieces.
Oh, and Holiak was off the track, so all these guys scoot by. Fresquez also keeping it tight close here on Jack Haley. We'll see if Fresquez, now seeing Mullins get by Haley, will light it up again and light up the lap board.
I feel like Carlin's taking advantage of these guys battling. He's reeled himself back into this battle now.
Yeah. Carlin's no slouch outdoors. We've seen him do quite well before. Has won some motos in the past.
Fresquez is on Haley around the outside of him. Haley's going to jump the step up back inside on him.
Wow. Look at that move from Haley. That was great. To get down the inside and hold Fresquez off, saying, "Nuh-uh, 4th time. Don't want none of that. I'm going to hold you behind me here."
Mullins getting to the back of Devin right now, only 0.9 down.
I'm definitely curious to see Davis's consistency rating after this race. He's only got a 220 fast lap, which is not matching the guys that he's been battling with, and it's a 220.9, but he's still running in the 2 spot. He's just been consistent. Putting together a great race.
This battle is ridiculous between Fresquez and Haley. They're changing lines all over the place. Here comes Holiak now, trying to get around Fresquez. Oh my gosh, somewhat dualies. Holiak might have the line here. I think he does. Oh, he checks up and into Fresquez. Fresquez over the bars. Maybe a little aggressive there from Holiak. He knew those lines would connect. Unfortunate contact, and there goes the battle for those guys.
That's going to sneak Race Carlin up in the 5th.
Yeah, Carlin now in a very good position. So Shipley still leads.
Oh, Davis with a mistake.
Oh,
Mullins gets into the back of him and pushes him back to the ground after he slid out. So Mullins into 2, Haley 3rd, Davis back to 4th, and Race Carlin 5th.
All right, so
Just
Holiak
about
and
to the 20-minute mark.
I was going to say Holiak and Fresquez remount in the 6 and 7 spots, respectively.
Mullins dropped his lap to a 2:18 last time around. Shipley, a 2:19.3 is his fast lap. It's a 5-second gap, so we'll keep an eye on that at the front as this battle for second rages on.
Oh, man, I'm curious to see whether or not Mullins can reel in Shipley from this position. This is a little similar to the field that we had in the second moto at Hangtown last week, where Mullins did end up winning that one, and he was trying to run down Jeremy Shipley for the lead.
Yeah, Mullins comes in with a 3-point lead over Shipley after round one. Holyak does sit third in the standings before Armstrong and Fresquez. Davis was 6th last week.
All
We'll
right.
check their lap times this time around, but Shipley's gap has shrunk to 4 seconds now, and it was over 5. So that tells me Mullins is on a heater.
The general, Race Carlin, is applying some serious pressure now to Devin Davis for that 4th spot. Number 12 machine just been sneaking up in there, makes a small bobble, but a nice save. Let's go on board.
Yeah, Race
with him
actually
here.
called this out. He was gelling with this track this week. It said he went into try-hard mode.
Take an onboard perspective here from Mr. Race Carlin versus PC Phantom X Ride. Trying to run down Devin Davis.
While you're watching that, update on the lap times at the front. 2:19.1, fastest lap of the race for him. For Shipley, bad news is Mullins ran a 2:17.5, his fastest lap, and cut the gap down to 2.5 seconds.
Well, Carlin had to check up going into those sand rollers. I don't think he's going to lose too much time, though. Davis made a small mistake of his own. Back onto the
Catching
start
on one
straight
thing,
here.
but
Yeah.
passing is another. Carlin's got to try to find an opening, and watching Davis, I don't feel like he's prone to make a mistake. He's been rock solid this race. Just a little slide out and then getting hit from behind from Mullins is really all that I've seen from him.
Oh, Carlin looks like he's gonna try an inside line. Davis shuts the door. Now back up Mount St. Helens. Who gets to drive? Carlin's got a great one. Oh man, just can't quite get the power down as Davis beats him up the hill.
Pass for the lead, and they're both down, sliding out on the ground.
Oh, Shipley and Mullins just getting going as Jack Haley works his way into the mix now. And not
And
too
Davis
far behind that,
and
yeah.
Carlin are right there as well, and Fresquez is lurking behind them.
And Fresquez is flying. I'm sure he was already on the move and then got together with Holyak. Now he can see those guys once again. We are about 7.5 minutes plus 2 laps away from the end of this thing.
Trying to get around lapped rider Estrella. Shipley remounting a charge on Mullins. I'm not sure how they got together. I just saw them both sliding out, going up that little rise. So can Shipley put the power down on Mullins? Again, Mullins was 2 seconds faster last time around. And then close the gap the rest of the way, causing them both to go down. Shipley trying to weird outside line there.
Just trying to keep, I guess, the momentum. Oh, that's
Shipley
why he's
was
doing it. He's going
for
for the
a
big
step
line.
on.
Oh, he's down. Oh, he would have had the pass, too, if he got it, but he's down.
So Haley, Davis, Carlin, Fresquez, and Holyak are all going to work their way around him. I don't think
Wow.
he probably would have went for that if he knew it was going to put him back to 7th if he failed it. Not this early. Too early in the race to go for that move.
Well, we were
It would have
wondering.
been sweet if it worked.
Yeah, we were wondering when someone was going to try it. And man, oh man, if Shipley had gotten it, there's no way that Mullins would have been able to hold him off going into the next corner. And we'll see if anybody else busts out that line trying to make a pass here tonight. That is very exciting.
We're late in this moto, and Davis has an opportunity to get his first career RF450 podium right now on that DX3 machine. He would be stoked. I know that was his goal coming into the year, was to run a lot of top 10s, some top 5s, and get his first podium. But Race Carlin trying to put the pressure on, make the move to prevent him from getting it.
And Carlin has been applying the pressure for a while now. Davis has been so ice cold with his nerves under the pressure here.
Carlin has the.
Yeah, he's just going to get him to the top of the hill there, but watch out for Fresquez, man. He is right on these guys.
Yeah, Tyson's lap time last time around? 2:16.5.
Oh, my. Let's go on board with the 21 machine. I want to see this action here as he tries to work his way around Davis and then race Carlin. He's not too far out of these lead riders either.
Yeah, and they're bringing Holyak with him. Holyak ran a 2:17.3 last time around too, so he basically trained Fresquez on that heater.
Oh man, look at these guys pushing the pace. Fresquez tucking in behind. Oh, a little mistake from Carlin. Davis going to shoot back down the inside and take that spot away. Carlin cuts back underneath. Does he get the line? No, he does not, but he stays ahead of Fresquez. Now it's going to be a drag race up to the
got
triple.
A better drive.
Yep, and Triley's. Oh my, these guys are throwing it tonight. Davis holds on. Fresquez looking for a move on Carlin. Gets it.
Whoa!
No,
Both
contact,
down.
and they're down. I don't know if Carlin
Forcing
didn't
the
know he was
issue.
coming or what, but Fresquez tried to get there and contact. Both going for the same line.
Well, but both aggressive racing. I don't think Carlin wanted to give an inch. Fresquez wanted to get the pass done and keep moving forward. And I know Carlin does play first person as well, so I'm sure he didn't see him there, but I'm sure he heard him there.
Right.
But just both going for the same piece of real estate puts them both on the ground. So Mullins, Haley, Davis is now your top three. Holyak now probably the man on the move, or Shipley, who's remounted. He's back in fifth, and he is not far off Holyak.
Yeah, and our versus PC one to watch this moto, Adam Holm, having a nice recovery after a couple falls there mid-moto, led early on. Now finds himself in sixth. Good ride for the 192.
Definitely a nice recovery because he fell away from this group, and he's just kind of kept putting consistent laps around, and they've made mistakes, and he's climbed himself right back up into the battle.
Oleg's gotten all over Devin now.
I'm sure these two are very friendly with each other. See how this one plays out. Holyak trying to get on the podium. Davis also doing the same. Charging down the hill. Both of them just getting stopped for the corner and then ripping around. Look at the drive from Holyak. Lands on the rear tire. Trying to get the power down. Davis shuts the door though. And right behind them comes Shipley, still lurking there.
A lot left to sort out in the moto, that is for sure.
Oh yeah. We have 3 minutes plus 2 laps to go, but this is definitely not over. It might be over for the win. I think Mullins could probably keep it from there, but behind that, who knows?
By the way, Mullins a 2:16 flat last time around. He's stretching the lead out, running some heaters.
Oh, man. Oh, Holyak, little kick. Really putting the pressure on Devin Davis here.
He better go forward because if he looks behind him, he's going to see that 39 machine breathing down his neck. One of those things that you got to make a move to try to make a pass. A step out from Holyak saves it, but you leave the door open and he's going to lose a spot. He's looking inside here.
Yeah, let's see if he makes it work. Not quite. Those guys both take inside. Davis actually maybe pulled away just a little bit there because of that outside line, keeping his momentum going. All right, what are the odds? Shipley tries that line again to get these guys late here. Oh, Ryder's down. Wow. Evasive maneuvers from all three riders.
Shipley down.
Shipley down. Fresquez also avoiding those guys and makes the move on Shipley. These guys have been stuck together. Yeah. That looks like...
I'm going to go check and see who that is.
I think it's Kevin
here.
Frazaka is one of them, the guy that won the Hole Shot Award earlier tonight.
Kevin Frazaka and Trevor Doran were stuck together for an eternity. Bummer for those guys.
So Shipley gets up right in front of Race Carlin and immediately is in a battle once again. Just no rest for these guys. They go hard for so long, crash, and then end up right back in another battle.
Side by side with Davis around the outside on the start straight. Whew.
Oh man, so will Devin Davis be able to fight back here? He's definitely going to try. What does he have for the 15 machine? Back up Mount St. Helens. Davis losing ground, though, by the looks of it. How about Jack Haley, though, in the 2 spot? Running a very solid race here in second for the Relaxatire machine.
Wyatt, honestly, I mean, he was in that battle for a while. He separated himself from it and ran his fastest lap of the race last time around at 2:19.2. So not laying down the fastest laps, but definitely has the consistency dialed in.
No question. Looking good.
Keep going, though, because Holyak is throwing down some speed.
Yeah,
And I'm
he's
sure
getting
he wants
away.
to go get that number 2 spot.
Definitely getting away from Devin Davis here. Here is Fresquez in the 5 spot now, and I want to take a look at Mullins real quick. He is just barely going to beat the clock. 29:59 on the clock as
3 to
Mullins
go.
goes over. Yeah, 3 to go.
That was his third 2:16 lap time in a row.
Just
Talk
slow
about
down just a
consistency.
smidge there, and he would have missed the clock.
Haley's across. Davis back to 3rd. We lost Holiak. Fresquez up to 4th. Holiak drops back to 5th.
Yeah. So a little problem there for Holiak. Not sure what happened.
So Davis is probably thinking, okay, 3 to go. I'm back into 3rd where I need to be. I'm good, man. I'm going to get my first podium. Yeah, don't look behind you, Devin.
Yeah, no, thank you. Tyson Fresquez is still ripping, and he's had some misfortune this moto now.
Oh,
that,
Holiak down again is
pushing
going to
him
lose
forward.
another spot to Race Carlin and Jeremy Shipley's going to sneak through.
Shipley
Oh,
nearly
bad.
into him there.
Couple turns for Connor Holiak. A couple teammates, Carlin and Shipley, doing battle for the top 5 spot.
Speaking
Carlin
of
off
Devin
the
and
track.
Fresquez, already Fresquez makes a move on Davis. As I'm not sure what happened to Davis. Suddenly Fresquez all over him, and then Davis slides out. So Fresquez through.
Battle for 5th is raging now that those guys have that settled for 3rd. Shipley looking for a way around his teammate. And also looking for points with Mullins in the lead. Shipley's got to go.
Woo! Carlin cutting back over there. Almost got into Shipley. Shipley launches down the inside of the hill, but not going to get a pass done there. Carlin keeps the power on and holds the spot. Look at Shipley wheeling up the hill right there behind Carlin.
It's really cool seeing these guys work the bike to put the power to the ground.
Carlin
I don't-
holding on. Oh man, Shipley scrubbing it down right there too, keeping it low. Trying some different lines. Carlin is just holding so tight though. Oh!
Ooh.
All
Holiak's
right.
running those guys from behind as well. Holiak is on a burner at the moment.
Yeah, Holiak definitely had the speed to catch. I think Jack Haley there late in the moto from 3rd, but then his crash put him a little further back. Oh, he's down though.
He
Yeah,
had
he's gonna lose
back-to-back
another-
fall-offs right at the end of last lap, but then Shipley into the back of Carlin. They both save it. He's looking aggressive up the inside.
Look at Shipley
Carlin's gonna
driving in
slingshot.
there. Now Shipley.
Oh,
Oh, here we
the
go.
line's
Is Shipley
wide.
gonna do the line? Here we go. He's flying in, keeps it there, sends it, gets the line. Are you
Made it
kidding
with
me?
ease that time.
Look
Race
at how
is
much
probably
time.
He just went from behind. He's 2.5 seconds in front of Race by the end of that straightaway.
My goodness. Look at he's already
So
like
there's where those
casing
fast
jumps and
laps
stuff.
came
Doesn't
from,
really
by the
know
way.
what to do with his hands now. That is ridiculous.
Oh, Davis is down. Shipley's going to go around him if
Oh,
he doesn't land
Devin.
on him here.
And he won.
Carlin's
He's
going
good to
too.
go. No,
Devin.
Devin Davis here.
Falls back to the 6th spot, but I can guarantee you he is not even bummed if he comes across 6th after leading a lot of laps. He'll be excited about that more than the lack of good result.
It's true, but I feel like all that work and to not finish top 5 still wouldn't be too pumped.
No, it's not over yet, especially with Carlin and Shipley still going at it. And Shipley trying to go huge for the fans.
Take a look back. Our versus PC one to watch. Look at him one more time as Adam Holm runs in the 7th spot here. And looking solid. Doesn't look like he's going to get into that battle, but fortunately enough for him, doesn't have to deal with Holiak right now.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to the 9 spot too and give a little love to the 55 of Alex Heckman. He's been up in his top 10 the whole moto, putting a great ride together on the Vital MX Honda. And as I say that, he slides
Ooh.
out and almost goes down, but he saves it. And Chase Blakely rounding out your top 10 at the moment on the BPC Husqvarna, but he has Siebel, who's come from pretty much dead last early in the moto to be putting the pressure on the ever good 19.
Talking about Siebel, he did put down a 2:16.2 his last lap.
All right, white flag in the air for Mullins. I would love to check the lap times between Haley and Fresquez here. 3.7 seconds in between them. And coming to the white flag, if Fresquez is going 3 seconds a lap faster, this could get really good here, going for that second place position in the end here.
Where did Carlin get Shipley back?
I don't know. Haley 220.2, Fresquez 217.1, 3 seconds
Carlin
in
went
it.
down. Sorry to interrupt. Carlin went down, so Shipley went back around, and then he went to the inside before the finish. So maybe only using that line to pull the trigger on a pass if he couldn't find another way around.
Yeah. Oh, Fresquez has already got it down to 2.5. Let's see if he sends it into the sand right behind a lapped rider here. Over the lapped rider. Oh, he hits him. Nothing that lapped rider could do
to capitalize. However, it'll put him within striking distance if another mistake happens for Fresquez.
Fresquez just getting going. That is the end of his chances for finishing second, unless Haley has a fall-off crash.
Everything's pretty spread out. 21-second lead for the number 1 of Mullins. He had to work from pretty far back. I mean, he was outside top 10 back in that 12-13 range for a long time, but just dropped the hammer, kept the fast laps coming. Consistency, he's bike humping. Mullins pumped on this one.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely, I don't think that I would have thought at some point during this moto he could still win this thing, but that's just how Mullins works. So steady, so smooth and confident, always has something in the bag late in these motos.
This third place finish is not over either. Shipley is only 2.5 behind Fresquez, but he does have a couple lappers between them. One of them, Brina Ritzler, getting out of the way, and I think that might have been, what's up, my dude? Spencer Turley letting him go on by and race through.
All right, well, Jesse Mullins is going to bring it down here and win 450 Moto number 1 in the books at Glen Helen, and it goes to Jesse Mullins with a Superman finish.
Be playing that freestyle.
Oh, yeah. Jack Haley looks like he's got second on lock unless he makes a mistake. Fresquez is still charging. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. 3 crashes in this moto for Fresquez is not what he wanted to see. And Haley will indeed hang on for second. Great ride for Jack Haley. Does some oppo whipping over the finish too. Got the style with it. Fresquez does end up in third. Shipley nails the line.
215.4
wow.
on the last lap. Carlin's fastest lap of the race was a 217 on the last lap. Nice top 5 for the general race, Carlin.
Davis just beats Adam Holm to the line. That was for the 6th spot. And Holiak has Siebel closing in on him. This battle isn't over yet.
Couple of teammates going down the last hill, and there is lappers, and Holiak is going to give it up with a crash. Is Armstrong going to get there?
All right, here comes Armstrong. Holiak has been kind of falling apart late in this moto.
Armstrong's teammate, I believe that was T. Fry down, or wasn't Fresquez down?
No,
right?
that is definitely Tyler Fry. And Heckman was able to get back by because of that, so Heckman's going to finish inside of the top 10 just behind Holiak. And that
Cameron Lee actually was in between those guys.
Yeah, Cameron Lee actually
slid through. Gets 10th spot, and Heckman 11th. Armstrong's going to come 12th. Brady Stanley 13th. Blakely 14th. August Sanders. Matt Agate, after his great Hangtown performance, will come across in the 16th spot. Looks like Jacob Holgerson will be our last rider on the lead lap. MFG Racing, number 170.
All right, we'll wait for him to finish real quick, take a look at cuts, and then shoot it over to a quick commercial break before 450 Moto 2 gets underway.
I have a feeling that cuts could very well change a lot up. There's a lot of close finishes there.
Indeed. All right, Holgerson coming to the line. A rider out of Sweden brings it home. He's going to pick up a nice little 17th place finish here, and cuts are in.
And Holm does get Davis.
Yeah, Holm got Davis. That was the only thing that changed inside of the top 20, though. Wow. All right, well, thanks for watching. We will be back in just a moment, though. We're going to send it to a quick commercial break. You're watching the Ride365.com Nationals, powered by Versus PC from Glen Helen. RaceFactoryGaming.com would like to thank the following sponsors for their continued support. Oh. All right, well, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to get going here in 450 Moto 2 in just a second. Why don't you guys take us through the one to watch for this moto?
The versuspc.com one to watch. We're going to check out the number 19 of Jeremiah Siebel on the Evergood machine. He came from way back in that first moto. to round the finish line in 8th place. So we're going to see what he can do, hopefully with a good start. Of course, former champion in the 250 class in Supercross, and we'll see what he can do here as 450 Moto 2 restart is going down.
Alrighty, well, after an exciting first moto, ending up with Jesse Mullins' victory, we'll see what these guys are able to do in this second moto. These guys are lined up and ready to go for another 30-minute plus 2-lap battle here at Glen Helen. Strap in, folks. It's time for another wild one. Let's go racing. This time, Shipley gets a much better jump out of the inside, gets together with Fresquez almost halfway down the straightaway. But actually, it's Armstrong this time who will take the whole shot on the 33 machine just ahead of the 55 of Alex Heckman. So Armstrong...
There goes Cameron Lee into the 2 spot already.
Yep, Lee, another good start. And Shipley did end up coming out in the 4 spot, so a good start out of the inside. Heckman uses the outside, going to get the door shut on him by the 22 of Stanley. Fresquez is up here early with Mullins as well, and Adam Holm.
Oh,
Fresquez
going off track.
Yeah, got together with Alex Heckman there at the top of the hill. That allowed Carlin and a host of other riders to go through. Not what Fresquez wanted early in this second moto. But his teammate Armstrong looking smooth out front already. Pulling away a little bit from Shipley.
Bad news for all the Devin Davis fans out there. He's running in 30th right now. Terrible start after their great Moto 1.
So Armstrong going to try to settle into a pace as Shipley made a small mistake and already has your defending champion Jesse Mullins all over him.
Second place in Moto 1 started. He's outside the top 20. Haley now up to 14th, moving past a ton of crashed riders, trying to get past a bunch of guys early and get in a good position for this overall.
Mullins looking to go to work on Shipley for the 2 spot. He's bringing Brady Stanley with him as Shipley sends it into that section. Thought he may have gone down, but rides through it smoothly.
Stanley went down.
Tyson remounting back up in the 13th right now.
So we'll check Tyson's progress through the field. Obviously, he wanted to be in this position, though, that Mullins is in, and he was there on the start, but unfortunate contact puts him back.
Be interesting to see what Armstrong can do with the good start here. He led a bunch of a moto at Hangtown. Had a good start in Moto 1 before crashing before he even got to the top of the first hill. So we never really got to see what he has on the Volcom machine. Number 33, but he has Shipley and Mullins, who are extremely fast in Moto number 1, pushing him now. So we'll see what he has.
Yeah, these certainly, all 3 of these guys are capable of winning a moto at any point of this season, no doubt. All have the great speed to do well. Just comes down to consistency between these guys, I would assume.
I mean, I have to think that Kawasaki number 33 has to go faster on Glen Helen, right?
That's a good point. I think so.
He's running the monster helmet and everything. He looks a lot like him. Just needs some fly gear up on him.
Shipley has more pressure from Mullins going down the hill than does Armstrong have pressure from Shipley. Mullins trying that middle line again, and look at how well that works out for him. He ends up right alongside, pushes Shipley up to the back of Armstrong now.
Those of you guys that aren't in the pro ranks yet in MXS, take a look at Mullins and what he does and how he moves through the pack. He does not follow. He uses different lines. He learns these tracks so that he doesn't have to follow. And right there, he almost makes the move on Shipley by being able to step out of that main line.
That's been basically 4 corners in a row now. We've seen Mullins take completely different lines than these guys have been taking. We got Triley's at the front. Look at all 3 of these guys just right nose to tail. Great 3-way battle. Oh, and Armstrong down, takes Mullins with him. Shipley to the lead. Mullins just going to get going, and there goes Holm by...
Race Carlin as well.
Yeah, Carlin around Armstrong. Holm onto the back of Mullins now for the 2 spot.
Oh, Armstrong almost got into Carlin. He jumped out of the inside rut, and Carlin was railing the outside. About putting them both on the ground. Close call.
At Agate, who didn't have a great first moto, up in 6th right now behind Race Carlin.
Yeah,
Agate was the surprise at Hangtown for sure.
Exactly, and did not have the moto he wanted, but so far this is what we kind of saw out of Agate at Hangtown was good starts and then just solid riding to keep him there. So maybe he's going to do the same thing here at Glen Helen in Moto 2.
Here's a surprise for you. Adam Holm is putting pressure on Mullins. He just about made the pass on him. Now they jumped into the sand section. The battle for the second spot is on, and Holm is the aggressor.
Man, Holm looks like a completely different rider than what I've seen out of him before. Oh, he's down. He gets a bad kick on the tabletop.
Got the race car in the third.
Yeah, plethora of riders sliding through. Oh, his teammate Agate gets into him, and they're both down in the same spot. Unfortunate for Agate. Here comes Stanley and Haley now onto the back of Agate.
Phenomenal damage control from the 26 of Haley. He was so far back on lap 1 as Stanley just absolutely ruins Agate.
Yeah, Agate was trying to force the issue there, I think.
Checking in with Devin Davis, came back from 30th up to 13th right now.
Wow, good ride from Devin so far. Keeping track of Fresquez as well, just cracking the top 10 here into 8th. So good progress so far for Fresquez. Gonna try to go with Stanley and Haley here as they battle down Mount St. Helens in front of him.
Haley's gelling with the Glen Helen circuit for sure, putting the pressure on Stanley.
Battle for third is raging right now. The General, Race Carlin, battling it out with James Armstrong here. Go on board with the 33 machine and see what this track looks like from his perspective.
He about seen the dirt up close and personal there as he got close to the hay bale.
Loses a little bit of traction, lost some time. Look at how much lower he stayed on that, though. It always amazes me watching some of these Volcom guys ride how well they can suck up jumps. They seem to stay so low compared to other riders. Obviously sharing some setups and working on some stuff together helps with that. Gonna go around the inside, but Carlin fights back on the right side of the track there. Great action.
It's gotta be nerve-wracking jumping that wall right close to someone.
Definitely. Thought Armstrong was going to actually try to 5-in given the momentum he was carrying, but he did check up. See what lines work out here. Oh, they both throw it into the corner. Armstrong trying to get that power down. Look at, he just goes by Carlin. Not sure if Carlin checked up there or what. Looked like Armstrong just turned on the afterburners or something. Just went flying right by.
You didn't know there was a turbo boost button?
I guess. Interesting, though. I'd assume Carlin might have checked up there. Just maybe a little tired of the pressure, just trying to settle into a pace, perhaps.
He is a wily veteran.
That is true.
Mullins in second with did run a 1 second faster lap than Jeremy Shipley, who's out front at the moment.
Yeah, Shipley been riding fast all day, but Mullins has had the upper hand. And I assume Mullins will chop this gap down very methodically as the race goes on.
Battle for 6th is raging. Fresquez is all over the back of Jack Haley. Haley's probably thinking, I just passed everybody through the pack. And now I've got pressure from behind. How's this happening?
Oh, Fresquez probably kicking himself still that had a good start this moto and did not work out the way he had hoped. So going to do what he can to charge through.
Carried a lot of speed down off that landing and closed right up to Haley's back wheel.
Look at this. Trying outside line. Haley. Oh, Fresquez blows the rut.
And we did have a change for the lead. Mullins did get around Shipley.
Wow, so just like that, something must have happened. Shipley, small bobble somewhere or something.
I'll tell you what happened. Mullins ran a 2:15 flat.
Oh my. Maybe Mullins hit the line? Do you think? We haven't seen anybody all night run a 2:15 without hitting the line. Even Shipley had to hit the line to do it.
I'm thinking not, just for the fact that that's not really Mullins' style. He's the smooth, consistent guy in the motos,
It's true.
and not really one to try the risky stuff like that. Not early in the race, especially. I think he's just dialed in. Had a clear track.
Yeah, it might be the last anybody sees of Mullins in this moto. He's already starting to set sail. Shipley is going to really push the envelope here, but I don't know if there's much he can do if Mullins is not hitting that line and running 2:15s. Maybe Shipley starts hitting the line, trying to run 2:14s. Who knows?
Absolutely. Adam Holm has made a move on the general and moved himself up to the 4 spot. The general falls to 5th.
So again, Holm putting another solid week together. Just every track we go to, it seems like he is just as comfortable as the last. We've been to Hangtown, he looked great there. Now Glen Helen, again, putting another solid week in.
One of the best rides in the moto, starting 30th now into the top 10. DX3 rider Devin Davis. He got 6th in the first moto after leading a lot of it. He might be able to get all the way to 6th this moto, coming from 30th.
Yeah, this is a very similar ride to what we saw out of Devin last week at Hangtown in the first moto. He came from way, way back and ended up in 9th. And already, wow, just not taking anything from Josh Hamilton there. So he gets by with an aggressive move. Coming behind him, we see Connor Holiak for the first time, holding off Chase Blakely and Cameron Lee. So a little 3-rider battle going on back here. Blakely a mistake. Cameron Lee, the rookie, trying to get in there, showing nose.
Lee has to be getting more comfortable battling with these guys towards the front of the pack now. 4th moto in a row, he's been up in the mix.
Yeah, good starts are definitely helping him out in this learning process. Got a great start the first moto, another great start this moto.
I don't believe he's had a moto this year outside the top 5, as in starting wise.
Got to figure out his secrets and what's getting him some good starts. Blakely holding strong though right now, even though Lee has been applying the pressure for better part of a lap. Break away for this battle for a moment and sneak back towards the front, see what we're looking at here.
We find a new leader and a battle.
Shipley to the front. Mullins charging. Oh, Shipley down just like that at the bottom of the hill.
Now the battle for 3rd is raging, though. Armstrong and Holm going at it. Holm has made the move on Armstrong.
They're going to get there as Shipley gets going. Holm charging down the hill. Shipley trying to find a way back on. Has to let them both go. And Carlin will not get by, but he's going to be right with these guys. So Holm into the 2 spot now over Armstrong.
Speaking of getting comfortable running with the front runners, Adam Holm.
Yeah.
Just the story of the outdoors thus far. You mentioned the scrub from the Volcom guys, and I'm seeing it now watching Armstrong. Tyson's always had it a little flick off the peak of the jump, and now, yeah, Armstrong is doing it everywhere as well.
Yeah, it seems like something that those guys have really figured out that works for them. I think all these pro riders have a little, they can do that kind of flick, but these Volcom guys for some reason are so good at just being able to soak jumps up when they do it. Like Armstrong there, just a little kick out, but so much lower than you would think for what he's doing with the bike.
Makes you wonder if they're dragging the brake or something, like right at the peak of the lip or something.
Trying to get that back end, like kind of compress, keep the front end down off the takeoff.
Right behind that battle for 2nd is Shipley, and just watching his riding style, it's very animated. He is going absolutely bananas right now, trying to get back to the front.
Let's go on board with versus PC FMX's Jeremy Shipley here. Got Armstrong and Holm in his sights.
Those guys are hauling, and he's closing this gap fast, but he's riding on the edge to do it.
Devin Davis, who had broke the top 10, is now showing up in 36, ghosting at the moment.
Oh no. Oh, Shipley scrubs down the short shoot hill. Good save. Thought he might have almost went down right there. Oh, it's just amazing to watch these guys push through the field here. Approaching the halfway mark of Moto 2.
Shipley made a little mistake and lost touch a little bit with those guys. I thought he was on a heck of a burner the way he was reeling them in.
Yeah, I think he's still pushing, but I don't know if he's quite doing the pace that they're able to run right now. We'll switch to Armstrong, who has got Adam Holmes still in his sights here.
As we hit that halfway point, it's time for a top 10 rundown. This one brought to you by the fine folks over at Moto Chasing. Mr. Dunivant, can you tell us a little bit about Moto Chasing?
Moto Chasing is a video company that does bring you some of the top amateur racing of the real world. And you can find any of our videos over at www.youtube.com/motochasing.
While we were talking about Moto Chasing, James Armstrong hit the deck, drops back to the 5 spot. So we're going to reset things at the front of the field. Jesse Mullins, Prime Design Graphics, #1. They're going to go 1-1 on the day at Glen Helen with a 12-second lead. Consistently throwing 2:16 lap times down. Just crushing it. Into the 2 ride. Adam Holm, the Architect rider, number 192. We're getting so used to seeing him at the front of the field. Doing a great job holding back the top contenders. Jeremy Shipley versus PC. FamiMX, number 39, came into this thing running second in points. Losing points, unfortunately, to Mullins. Gotta get up to the front and hope for a mistake as he charges on to the start straight. Being chased by his teammate, another versus PC FamiMX rider, Race the General Carlin. Having a great day here at Glen Helen. James Armstrong, Team Volcom 33, slots into the 5 ride. Second place in Moto #1, running 6th right now. Jack Haley on the 26, Relax the Tire. Tyson Fresquez found himself a 2:15.9 lap time fast lap, but he is all the way back in 7th on his Volcom number 21. Connor Holyak up in the 8 ride on the Evergood number 15. In 9th, we find another Prime Design Graphics rider. This one, the Deuce of Brady Stanley. And rounding out the top 10, the Moto Chasing top 10 rundown, the number 150 Mad Cape rider, Cameron Lee. Back at the action, looking for a battle right now. I don't think we're going to find one in the top 10. Everything pretty spread out. Cameron Lee not too far off Brady Stanley for that 9 spot. But there's a heck of a battle going on just outside the top 10. We have August Sanders, Mr. UID2, the Colonel, riding for the Adept squad. Has Josh Hamilton and Chase Blakely right on him. Hello?
I'm still here. I'm watching this battle that you're talking about.
All right. Well,
Sanders
it looks
off
like
the track.
Hit Blakely off his bike. So now it's down to Hamilton and Sanders.
Back up at the front, Shipley went down and is back in the 5th now.
Oh man, Shipley's woes continue. So Carlin is in the 3rd, Armstrong 4th. Shipley back to 5th as mentioned. Haley, Fresquez. Oh, Holyak is doing some weird sending it into the finish line jump there. Closest battle inside of the top 10, as you mentioned, Chris, looks to be this battle between Cameron Lee and Brady Stanley.
Yeah, this is the first moto all year we haven't had like a 5-rider fight within the top 10 somewhere. I'm used to these more drawn-out races from last year. Lee with a little slide out.
Yeah.
He's going to lose some serious time.
Hamilton.
I guess it's
Sanders,
time to
what was
check
his
in
name?
with our versus PC one to watch, and it's not looking good for Evergood Rider. The 19 of Jeremiah Siebel. He is running in the 18 spot right now, working on Matthias Janis. Trying to get into the 17 spot. He did run a 2:18.5 last time around, so Siebel with some serious speed, but he needs to get some work done on his starts or early laps to not put himself so buried in the pack.
Makes the pass on Janis there, so it looks like he's reasonably comfortable with the track, but must just be running into some crash issues as well.
I mean, we've been watching the consistency at the front of the field. You cannot afford to give him a head start because there's no way to make up the time.
Yeah.
When you think 8 to 10 seconds each crash, if those guys aren't crashing, how do you make up 8 to 10 seconds when everybody's running ridiculously fast laps?
Exactly.
Shipley has climbed up to the back wheel of James Armstrong for the 4 spot now after going down. So we do have a battle developed inside the top 5.
Ooh, Armstrong just made another mistake. He's not really looking too smooth through this back section of the track on the REM side.
I think Shipley's going to uncork right here. He's going big.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Shipley does not take the outside line. Gets a good drive, though. Does he still maybe try it? No. Does not.
Thanks, Shipley. You made me look stupid.
I think he learned his lesson from last moto. He might wait until the end to try to do that line.
Oh, almost coming around him, staying on the wall there.
Yeah, he's got a really fast line working there. Armstrong out of the seat and up over the rut. So Shipley makes that one easily through as Armstrong makes a small bobble there. How about it, though? Adam Holmes still just smooth and silky, riding in second. No pressure from anybody in front or behind. Putting down laps.
He's actually been staying the same pace away from Mullins this past 2 laps.
Definitely going to be losing that triple-digit number next year is Adam Holm. Going to put it in the back pocket and pick up another number of some sort.
Pretty low on the way he's riding.
Yeah.
Oh, Fresquez going down on the downhill there, letting Haley back around him.
Oh, he was definitely charging. If he had gotten to Haley, he's going to have to deal with Holiak again. Not too sure if there's any love lost between those two guys after their collision in the first moto.
Oh, Mullins is off the bike. He is down.
And here comes Adam Holm. He's going to go to the lead. This is the opportunity I think he wanted. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Holm has been clicking off very good and consistent laps. He might have to up the pace, though, to keep Mullins behind him.
But he's been running 2:17s and 2:18s. Yes, Mullins has been in the 2:16s, but that's not that much. It's enough to keep the pressure on Mullins.
Oh, and Holm is down just like that. Bad kick.
Here comes the general race, Carlin. He's going to go into 2. If he can miss him, he does.
So just like that, Mullins to the lead again.
Devin Davis has disconnected, unfortunately. Sounds like his game crashed. So bummer for Davis.
Yikes. No fun for Devin.
From the highs of highs to the low of lows for Mr. Davis.
Yeah, and that really sucks because, as mentioned, his Hangtown was pretty good. Going 9.5, I believe, and then first moto is 6. He was looking really solid inside of the top 10 in points, but DNF here at moto number 4, round 2 of the season. Not looking too good. Got a battle on our hands between Shipley and Haley. Shipley challenging the number 26 machine.
Tyson must have went down again, running a 2:37 that last lap, back in 8th now.
Wow, Shipley by on Haley and Fresquez, watching more and more points slip away. Not too sure it's even going to matter for Fresquez as we watch Mullins just continue to dominate out front. I mean, is there anything anybody can do about Mullins right now? It seems like his own enemy is himself, and even when he crashes, he still ends up in the lead.
And battle for second raging on. Adam Holm has reeled in the general race, Carlin. Holm is on a really good lap right now. Guys do have some lappers in front of them that they're going to have to deal with.
See who gets through those lappers cleaner. That is the 68 DX3 Yamaha Mike Strelo moving out of the way. You got one more to deal with as well. That would be the 25 Mad Cape rider of Jordan Vanderlee, right in front of Strelo. Yep. They both move over very nicely. Almost got back on in front of Holm there. Not too sure if they knew they were both coming through or not.
And kind of a dick move from Strelo, trying to make a pass while Vanderlee was moved out of the way, letting the guys go through. Never like to see that.
Oh, just flash back to Armstrong to see where he was at, and he ends up down right behind those guys, but no real pressure from behind.
Adam all over Carlin at the moment.
And then
that
Carlin
was a mistake in the
stretched it back
corner.
out, yeah.
From Holm, he missed getting into that rut, but I think the speed he's carrying, he definitely can probably reel that gap right back in.
Let's go on board with the 192 machine here and see what he's able to cork out.
Throwing it dirty into the sand. Actually got pressure from behind right now from Vanderlee,
Yeah.
who's a lap down.
See
Vanderlee
Carlin
not a
there.
stranger to the front of these fields either, so just having a bad race.
Right. These guys still are not that far behind Mullins, who is in lap traffic. He's got 3 more riders
6
right in front of him
seconds.
to get through. Oh man, I'm getting mesmerized watching Adam Holm ride right now, just sitting back and looking at how he rides this track. Some of these guys, when they ride fast, are really aggressive, and it's just so, doesn't look like it flows very well. But Holm here is really connecting his lines really well, riding smooth. Oh, and just as I say that, he loses a front wheel.
And Carlin had a mistake, and I think Holm saw it, lost his marbles for a minute there.
Trying
Battle
to
for
make something
6th.
out of it.
Starting to heat up. Fresquez on Shipley.
Fresquez does have a couple more spots in front of him he could get before this is over.
Check back to P11 real quick. Car versus PC.com. One to watch. Ever good rider Jeremiah Siebel is putting things together now, putting those fast laps to work and trying to charge up into a top 10. So salvaging his moto right now is Siebel. Putting the pressure on right now on Jacob Holgersen.
Yeah, Jacob Holgersen, rider out of Sweden, putting together some good motos here. Scored points in the first moto, looking at some really good points here in the second moto, top 10 perhaps.
I know making you jump around a bit, but Fresquez has reeled in Shipley now.
Oh, Holgersen went down and Siebel went over him and over the bars. Here's that battle between Fresquez and Shipley though. Up and over the line. Fresquez went long, so Shipley is going to hang on to this spot, I think. Yes, he will. Oh, he lost the front end. Oh, that was interesting. So Fresquez gets by. That also allows Holiak to get through. These guys carry so much momentum into some of these jumps, they have to literally brake to not do anything more than what they're trying to do. All right, can Fresquez get to Jack Haley? Perhaps get inside of the top 5 before this one is over. It is still not over at the front yet. Mullins is in the lead and has a good gap to work with, but Riz Carlin is in somewhat reasonable striking distance. If Mullins were to have a mistake or perhaps a fall-off crash, Carlin would be right there or into the lead. I think Mullins is once again just barely going to beat it back to the line time-wise.
Yeah, Carlin's there just in case a mistake happens, and at this point, if Mullins makes a mistake, we will have a battle to the finish.
Mullins
Holm
coming.
trying to put the battle to the finish on Carlin, and he's just chugging along.
All right, Mullins will put it to 3 laps to go over the line here. 29:35 is unofficially going to be the time that he'll cross with. So 3 laps to go. Carlin and Holm still might be doing some battle here before this is over.
Both of them running almost identical times to that last lap.
Oh man, Holm looks fired up for this one. He wants to go after Race Carlin, get that second spot back. He is scrubbing down jumps. He is pushing hard. Let's see if he sends it into the sand here. Oh, lays it over. Lands in the same spot though.
5th and 6th in the first moto. Carlin 5th, Holm 6th. So this is a battle for overall position as well.
And Holm already right onto the back of Carlin. He is charging and has got there now. Can he make the pass is the question, though. He was right on Carlin for a while earlier on, and Carlin held true.
Carlin jumped a little deep into that pit, makes a mistake, makes another mistake, barely misses.
Saved it, though.
Bike save.
Alrighty, so Holm back into second. Does Carlin have something to retaliate with here? These guys have about 2.5 laps to go. They want to get something done. Carlin already looking like he's losing touch on Holm, who is still in full charge mode right now.
They're free to battle as hard as they want at this point, as Armstrong's 20 seconds behind in 4th, so nothing to lose there to go after that second place spot.
It almost sounds like what you just said right there got over to Race Carlin, because he just no sooner after you said that, he has picked it back up again and going after Holm already. So they work their way back towards the REM track, coming to 2 laps to go. Mullins is going to get the 2-lap board here in just a moment. All right, coming to get that 2-lap board for these guys as well. Holm ahead of Carlin. Armstrong all alone in 4th, and Haley holding off Holiak. Shipley is back ahead of Fresquez again. Fresquez has lost 2 more spots. Stanley just getting back on the track from a crash. Our one to watch, our versus PC one to watch this moto. Jeremy Siebel coming down Mount St. Helens right now. Jacob Holgerson still has Cameron Lee right behind him. So Holgerson fresh out of the GP series and Cameron Lee fresh out of the AM series, battling it out in the RF Pro class tonight. August Sanders putting in another solid week with Chase Blakely chasing him down. Kevin Frazaka battling it out with Matt Agate on the uphill. Josh Hamilton, Reed Young, Hunter Deischer, Tyler Fry. All these guys having fairly decent nights. Continue to watch this battle. They'll go on board with the general, Race Carlin, see if he can eat away at some time here on Adam Holm.
And this is also the battle for 2nd overall on the day, so
That'd be huge for both of these guys. Mullins is going to get the white flag next time by. We are coming to 1 lap to go at Glen Helen 2017 Ride365.com Nationals. Round 2 almost in the books, but we have got some battles still to be sorted out on track. Is Carlin going to get to Holm? Does Mullins have one more mistake in him, perhaps, that these guys could get into that mix? Mullins is still in lap traffic. Anything could happen.
Yep, right at 10 seconds.
Oh, Holm goes down. So Carlin just squeaks by right there into the 2nd spot once again. White flag in the air now for Mullins. Carlin is going to be in second. Holm remounts in third, and he is all alone there. Meanwhile, Jack Haley under attack from Connor Holiak as they go into the REM track. Dualies, and Haley got upside down, too. That was awesome. More dualies coming back off the REM track, and Holiak seems to be the faster of the two here as he caught him from a little ways back, but making a pass on him is a whole different story here. Let's see if he's got something working here. Different line or something.
Couple 2:16 lap times, and fast lap for Haley's only a 2:18, so Holiak's got the speed advantage, but can he find a way around?
Might be right here. He got a great drive. He's going to stay a little lower on the double. Has an inside line. Does Haley shut the door? Wow.
Just gets it into the corner. That inside berm that he wanted to hit.
I agree. Both of these guys sending it. Holiak was sending it off the track there and makes a pass off the track, but then gets back on, and Haley goes off the berm. Let's see if Haley gets to drive back down this section, trying to show him a wheel. Holiak completes the pass. Very nicely done. No pressure from behind.
Behind those guys, Shipley went down, allowing Fresquez to go on around into the 7 spot. Shipley drops to 8th.
So frustrating night for both Shipley and Fresquez, I would assume, after
Holm
coming in.
Again.
Your leader is down. Jesse Mullins is down, and here comes Race Carlin. Mullins is going to get going, buried in lap traffic as, oh my goodness, I don't think they knew he was coming. Carlin is trying to get there, and the lappers are scattered a little bit. Mullins suddenly in a high-pressure situation here. He's still going to get the overall no matter what, but Carlin is suddenly thrust into a position to win this moto. Does he have anything?
Teammate first.
Yeah, Janice trying to get out of the way. Mullins sending it into the rollers. Gets a little out of shape, but able to keep it under helm here. And into the final corner, Mullins survives a late crash in this moto and survives a charge from Race Carlin to go 1-1 at Glen Helen. Carlin just finishes behind him to take second in the race and second overall. Whew, that one came down to the wire.
Carlin ran his fastest lap of the race on that last lap with a 2:16.2. Adam Holm going to come across in the number 3 spot, and that might give him 3rd or 4th overall. Not positive. He pumped with the podium, does a backflip. Armstrong 4th. The battle for 5th rages on. Haley and Holiak.
Wow, Haley got Holiak back, and Holiak just blew the ruts, so Haley is going to take the spot. And I actually think that you're talking about
Haley
Holm.
should be 3rd.
Yeah, Haley should get 3rd overall.
That's
2-5. Tyson Fresquez coming to the line. Going to get 7th in this moto. Shipley, Stanley, Siebel, your versus PC, one to watch in this one. That was a pretty good charge, though, for Siebel, given his location at about the midpoint of this race.
Yeah, most of us would be pumped to the top 10. Siebel, I'm guessing, with the results he's had in the past, as he goes by Stanley, he's actually going to go up into the 9 ride, and with 2 corners to go, I feel like he wants to be on the podium.
Yeah, unfortunately, not a good day for Siebel, at least in his eyes, but he does get 9th in this moto. Stanley's going to round out the top 10 here. And August Sanders, Brady Stanley's teammate, is in 11th, but the Swede, Jacob Holgerson's going to try to go after him here in the final couple corners. Don't think he's going to have enough time to get there, though, as Sanders gets through those last couple corners cleanly and holds on. Holgerson, a nice ride here tonight, ends up 12th in this second moto.
The Dictionary of MX Simulator, Kellen Brauer, was actually wrong. Stanley is not teammates with August Sanders.
They're on the same bike.
They're not teammates. Prime Design Graphics and Team Adept.
Brady Stanley.
Brady just rides every team's bikes.
All right.
Hey, you know way more than pretty much anyone I've ever met, so when I can call you out on being wrong, I'm going to.
All right. Kevin Frazaka takes home 16th after hole shotting this one. Matt Agate, 17th. He was up there, and he went backwards, so not a good night for Agate after a great opening round at Hangtown. And we'll wait on Tyler Fry before we wrap up tonight's festivities. You want to give a shout-out to our great sponsors, though, Chris?
Absolutely, as always, want to thank the fine folks at Ride365.com, our title sponsor of this national series. And, of course, VersusPC.com. Log on and get your PC parts or a PC itself. Be able to play this game. Change for the 5th place spot, by the way. Holyak gets Haley.
Does that change 3rd overall, or... No, because Holm went 6-3.
3
Yeah.
and 2-6 for...
Gotcha.
Racetech, Moto Chasing, Tagger Designs, FamMX.com, SYSTV, MX Simulator, Vanderhoof Light, and all the other fine folks that support us. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here at Glen Helen for round 2 of the Ride365.com Nationals. Thanks to Chris Riesenberg, Chase Dunivant for joining us in the booth here in this one. And thanks to all of you guys for joining us again on the live stream. You can watch playbacks on YouTube. They will be up tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. sharp. But for Kellen Brauer, Chris Riesenberg, and Chase Dunivant, so long from Glen Helen.